how does this play out to the pardoned and unpardoned 1/6ers? As you are, you're representing. Are you both representing the pardoned and the unpardoned ones?
Yeah, we represent hundreds of pardoned J6ers, but we also represent some of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers that only got their sentences commuted. And we're working to try to get the president to give them a full pardon. I mean, some of these guys, like Enrique Tarrio, and I do not represent him. He's got other counsel. But he got, 22 years in prison, and he wasn't even in D.C. that day. And count 6, get this, for people that don't quite believe yet how corrupt the government is and how wrong all these J6 convictions were. Count 6 of Enrique Tarrio's indictment was that he destroyed government property. Destroyed, not that he conspired to destroy it, not that he asked other people to destroy it. He was convicted of destroying government property, which was one of those bike barricades they used. Problem was, he was in Baltimore that day. He wasn't in D.C. He's either got the longest goddamn arms in the world, or nobody in D.C. and those juries give a hoot about the facts of the law. They just burn, burn, burn anybody that supports Donald Trump. And the reason was obvious. I mean, the then government, wanted to intimidate the entire United States of America and say that if you stand up for your constitutional rights, if you have the gall to challenge an election result, if you have the gall to protest against everything that the deep state says, we will destroy you. We will arrest you. We're kicking your doors. If you're only accused of trespass, we'll show up on your front lawn with 25 FBI and federal marshals dressed for war, have tanks in your front yard, helicopters circling the top of your house, machine guns pointed at your minor children for trespass, and then haul you into jail, ruin your life, ruin your business, ruin your public reputation, have your family members hate you, all for, and I can't tell you how many people have told me this exact story. All they did was walk through open doors held open for them by Capitol Police, fist bump the cops, sing the national anthem, chant USA, USA, go and use the restroom where there weren't enough porta potties there, so people would go up to the Capitol and ask the guards who were holding the doors open for them, where can I go to the bathroom? And they said, go up here, take a right, then take another left, being directed that, and then leave without taking anything, breaking anything, or getting any altercation. Just come in through open doors, welcomed in by the cops, spend a few minutes there, and then leave. And those people have had their total lives destroyed. I spoke with one this morning who was a IT guy. He lost 40 companies that he was managing the public impression for, one which is hundreds of millions of dollars in annual revenue, and his life is destroyed. I've got a guy who is making $250,000 a year as an actor before January 6th. He's living in his van now. I mean, people just have to appreciate what this corrupt government did to destroy so many hundreds and thousands of people's lives.
Now, talk a little bit about Milley and General Milley and Pelosi.
Yeah, my favorite story. I mean, I talked about this every day when I was running for.
Because I want people to understand what they did was as bad as what Obama's doing or did now and is accused of.
Yeah. Well, so it's January the 5th, 2016. Have I got the right election cycle here?
I think it's 20. Wait a minute,
2021.
I think it's 2021. So am I.
Yeah, yeah, and after the 2020 election, it's now January the 5th, the day before the election is going to be certified. Nancy Pelosi has a phone call with Mark Milley, and Pelosi says, "Well, he's crazy, don't you?" Meaning Trump. Milley says, "Yes, I understand that," and he says, "If Trump is going to launch an invasion of China, I will call the Chinese up and give them a heads up on it." Well, that's treason, okay?
Sure.
And then to make matters worse, Milley goes back to the Pentagon, calls up all his chiefs, has them all in the room at one time, makes them vow that they will only take orders from him directly and will not take any action unless he authorizes it, has them all swear an oath to him personally. That is a coup, okay? That is a military coup in the United States. And so then, why are people at my end of the spectrum a little upset? Because we now have Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. And what's he going to do to Mark Milley, who committed this treason and staged a coup against the president? He says, oh, maybe we'll take one of his stars away, which will reduce his pension.
Has this? Oh no! Don't tell me you got another Joanna call.
No, not today.
That was so funny. She called me later and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I says, "You crazy? That was a highlight of my show." Not that you weren't the highlight.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I'm getting slighted.
Oh yeah, of course not. So in your cases, and you got cases now coming down on. Apparently, they want to rehear the committee from the 1-6 department. Yeah. I think it's somebody's up there in Congress, and
Loudermilk.
Yeah, there's other guy too.
Yeah,
and they want to go over now with a fine tooth comb, I guess, the committee for 1-6ers. So how are you going to get involved with this? Are you going to be testifying before Congress?
I hope so. I think that I now have probably as broad a base of information regarding how the corruption of the government targeted and destroyed the 1,583 people that were arrested on January 6th. But it's more than that. They've got this website out there called Sedition Hunters. And what Sedition Hunters has been doing for the last 4 years is searching social media and doing facial recognition and actually human reporting on who all the people that were at the Capitol on J6 were, and then outing them and calling for their prosecution. And so even people that never got arrested, even people that were doing nothing the slightest bit violent, let alone or disruptive, they're getting their faces posted on Sedition Hunters and having their lives and their careers and their reputations ruined. And this was allegedly a private entity, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it was being funded by various factions of either the Democrat Party or the government itself.
Jeez. So who would you subpoena if you were in charge of your cases, or if you were someone made an official of this examination of the 1-6 thing? Who would you subpoena?
I would get the name of the local FBI agents that did the SWAT assaults on people who were only charged with misdemeanors, people that pointed their machine guns at minor children or into the crib of infants. And I did take their deposition, and I'd say, what kind of a reprehensible bastard are you to point a machine gun at a 4-year-old when you're going to arrest somebody for trespass, right? And he's going to say, it wasn't me. I was ordered to do it by my area director. And you take that guy's deposition and you say, what kind of a reprehensible bastard are you to order your FBI agents to kick in the doors of people who are only charged with misdemeanor trespass and point machine guns, 30 of them sometimes, at a 4-year-old kid? And he's going to say, it wasn't me. It was my boss in D.C. that told me to do that. And then you take that guy's deposition, the same scenario. Then you get up to Jim Comey or Christopher Wray in those days. And then you get up to Merrick Garland. And then you get up to whoever, Ron Klain, who was ever actually running the White House in those days. And you ask those questions. But I said this last week on your program. Am I gone?
No, you're not.
You're waving goodbye to me.
No, another guest came in. He's a little early. Bob Willis. I don't know if you know each other, but Bob Willis. This is Mark McCloskey, who somehow lost his wife today. I don't know what the hell happened with that. But this guy knows everything about 1-6 and all about what's going on with Obama these days. In fact, he might be testifying in Congress pretty soon.
And what I've been advocating for a long time is we ought to treat the Democrats the way they treated us, and that is arrest them, put them in jail, and let them try to fight their way out. Because we had people that, other than January 6th, no one goes to federal prison for misdemeanor trespass charges. Except for January 6th, no one has 25 FBI agents in full riot gear kick in their front doors for misdemeanor trespass. I mean, it's just... and then I represent people who spent 4 years in prison. People who spent 900 days in solitary. I mean, this is ridiculous.